That's what we're trying to get to.
Hi guys, I'm Dan.
I'm Ellie.
Welcome back.
We are sitting in front of one of the 5 adits that we have found at the Silver Bell mine.
Yep, this one goes back the furthest. I went about 100 yards back, and all the video has no sound.
Most of the videos are going to have sound dubbed over because we had some technical difficulties with sound, and Apple doesn't make it easy.
Hey.
Thanks, Apple, for nothing. Anyways, we're south of Baghdad. We crossed a really significant portion of the San Maria River coming down here through sandbeds and rocks, and just the entranceway was like a needle hole trying to get back in here. And you'll see like all of that brush and everything was, whoa, it was a pain. And it's been really hot today, and there's been snakes and centipedes and all kinds of stuff that you'll see.
A weird amount of centipedes. I don't know why. I've never seen so many centipedes in my life.
It's absolutely crazy, but there's bats and beehives and all kinds of stuff. Or old beehives.
Rat.
I was absolutely fascinated by the rocks here. The quartz veining with iron staining was the perfect combination for gold ore. The massive rock walls and dump piles were just awesome. Very little is known about this mine, so I'm not sure how big the drifts and adits were.
Big old sandy wash and creek bed. This is where we came from. Nowhere.
This was the first adit that we came across at the Sultan mine. The quartz and feldspar-rich rock were covered with tourmaline crystals. Although we didn't get a view on camera, Javelina ran out of this little cave through an entrance in the back.
It seems like I'm always chasing Dan when we go on these little hikes.
Yeah, I'm always in a hurry to go and explore the stuff around there.
And I have my nose in the dirt looking for rocks.
The views from these areas are awesome.
Tons of porphyritic and pegmatitic granite up there.
This is part of the old mill site. Dan's up there scoping it out to do a drone video. Old pads, dump piles, and there's parts of things. We didn't actually go explore that. It was a pretty long hike.
I love this little collapsed house right here. It's made out of a very felsic granite or granitoid rock that looks like the pieces were cut by hand and stacked. It's got some pretty awesome quartz veins inside some of those rocks too. I'm not sure exactly why, but you can see that the concrete has been scored to make it look like tile. The only reason I can think of is to make it look pretty. These miners had some class.
Not exactly sure what the grooves were for. It could have been chutes or a head frame that was attached to this pulling ore out. You can really see the scoring well here on the concrete too.
Not exactly sure, but it looks like this rock building could have been an assay shed. It was kind of in the right area of the mine. And this saguaro cactus indicates how old this area is where a building used to be. You guys know how much I love old glass and junk lying around old mines, and this stuff was particularly beautiful. 2 different shades of green, some light blue. It was pretty awesome stuff, and it's a shame that people come up and break it. I was just sitting around here trying to figure out why they would have scored the concrete. There's no actual mining purpose as to why it would have been done, but they are in perfect, beautiful squares, so they were trying extremely hard to make this place fancy. We noticed that they poured the concrete about a foot deep, the whole length of the mill site, using native rock the whole way down. It was pretty awesome. More grooves, we're not sure what they were for. These could have been mill rock grinding chutes, maybe to crush the ore. We're not exactly sure, but they were in several sections all the way across the side of the mill. And even a little vent hole. This looks like it was an old ore dump where they would have put ore in it and then put it down a chute to the mill to get ground up. This is just one of the many millipedes that we saw about every other 3 feet. This is starting the hike over to the adits. This thing was just a little cactus-covered goat trail, and it's about to get super narrow in a minute. Just pointing out that the dump piles run down the hill to the creek. And the cholla cactus was trying to eat us alive.
And the cat's claw, little cactus bush things, they're the worst.
It's true, they have this like back hook that gets stuck in your legs. It's not fun. And as my dad likes to remind me, I constantly forget to bring a machete. Here's the start of a little rock wall made out of the rock that they would have found in the area. This is us approaching one of the first adits that we found. We're about to enter into this and go all the way back in. What I'm geeking out about right now is this rock content between a light felsic rock and a little bit darker iron-rich felsic rock. What I found kind of interesting is that there's a little yellow tag to the right-hand side, and it was a survey marker from 2016, which was 4 years ago. Not sure if the survey was for rock or for degradation or for cataloging the mine, but it was interesting to find. The geology is pretty cool in this one. On the left side here, there are 2 different structures up against the wall. I'm shining the light on them right now. There were a ton of bugs inside this adit as well. Surprisingly, Dan wasn't freaking out. To the left side of this up here, there's a winze. And it goes down and it looks like it collapsed. There's also another rock contact off to the right. There was a lot of hornblende and tourmaline within this rock. You can see the little black flecks along with the crickets. This was the second adit that we entered. We just kind of peeked our heads in because, as you can see, the ceiling is falling down. The rocks are in horrible shape, like that one about ready to fall. They all look a little bit mealy. They're a very altered rhyolite, kind of turning to powder. So we didn't really feel like crawling around inside of there. However, the logs are fascinating that are holding up the ceiling, and the rocks are crumbling around them, leaving big boulders on top of the flat part of the logs. Plus, we had seen a couple javelina in this area, and you could smell them very strong. We didn't want to run into any. I'm looking down on the third adit from the bench above. As I'm looking at the rock, there was a lot of structure failure in this area. And you guys are always asking me if I find snakes. Well, this is a big fat rattlesnake. I didn't turn on the camera in time to get the whole snake, but he's crawling right underneath of the wall that I had just climbed down from. Really scary. And also, he didn't make any noise and was barely rattling. Till right at the last where his tail started to vibrate. I'm always keeping an eye out for wildlife. The last thing I want to do is get hurt way out here in the middle of nowhere. Right before the cameras turned on, we saw a fox run out of this adit. Plus, it had a really putrid smell coming out of it. We didn't want to go inside because it was just a lower level of the adit that was collapsing from the bench above, so not a safe place to be. If I had brought different equipment with me, that would have been a whole nother story. These are some very twisted ore cart tracks that were coming out of the side of the collapsed adit. There was a big rock slide in that area. This one is super caved in. All the daylighting here, I think that was one closed off, but you could totally tell that that rock was not competent and super sketchy. By making that small lean-to, I think even the miners knew that that rock was not in good shape. Huge boulders had come down around it. Not a safe adit to go exploring in. This adit turned out to be a lot more exploratory than we thought it would be. Dan's gonna grab the camera from me here in a second so that he can lead.
Yeah, I wasn't a very good camera and flashlight operator, so there's probably lots of black spots where you don't get to see anything.
This first thing is really cool. This is a bolted stake where they would have been using it to hold up the ceiling. And there's a structure that runs right along the ceiling on this adit, kind of at an angle, and it's because of a rock contact. Miners would follow fault contacts like this because they would eventually lead to minerals, and usually secondary mineralization has the highest mineral content. If you watch the light, a bat is about to fly by. There he goes. As you can see, there's a lot of rocks on the ground inside of this adit. Fault contacts make a very unstable ceiling, but again, bring the best mineralization. I wouldn't want to be underneath one of those boulders when they fell. You'd get knocked out. Or die. And there's another little bat just hanging around. You can see the turn in this adit up here. It goes in there so far. And we're kind of trying to figure out what those mounds are right there. We established that this bunch of stuff was a bunch of javelina crab. You can tell from the looks of it that the javelina had inhabited this area for quite some time. Mine adits make great habitats for animals in the wild. And it's fair to say at this point that Dan is really bad with the flashlight. This is a nearly collapsed drift, and you can see it doesn't go very far back in there, but still dangerous. And there's another collapsed drift to the left as well. I think it probably snakes around to the back of this adit. And these giant mounds that you'll see here in just a second, these are giant piles of bat crap. Yes, and they had been there for years and years. At this point, our eyes were burning so bad that we had to back out and couldn't go any further. As we come out of the adit, there is an awesome rock contact and an old beehive honeycomb left over. It was pretty dried up and the bees were long gone, but another example of an adit making a home.
That was it!
That was it. This is the concrete mill site, whichever part this was, for the Silver Bell mine.
Yeah, the second part, there are these big
Concrete and bolted.
odd pillars that don't know what they were holding. Probably some form of a steel building or some kind of a head frame, helping pull stuff out of an ore chute that was up top. And it could have been a number of stuff, but there's these odd little drainage areas in the concrete. We found a piece of copper oxide ore. It's got some chrysocolla in it, which is kind of neat. So they were pulling copper out of this as well as silver and gold.
That's about it.
That's all we got. So we hope you guys enjoyed. Please come back, follow us, like this video, please subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Cool.
Ooh.
Bugs. Smash. Just us messing around. It was a very long and tiring day, that's for sure. Especially later on when we were trying to get back.
But we always have a great time no matter what. Our adventure never stops, guys. Thanks for joining Ellie Knows Rocks with my sidekick. Times. You're doing great. You go to an awesome mine area, which is way over those hills. And we came from somewhere over there to your belt breaking on your side-by-side. So we are replacing the belt right now. It is something that every side-by-side owner needs to know how to do. We've never had to do it before. So we don't know how long we'll be out here. But we have the new belt right there, which you carry with you at all times, just in case. And here we go. We have no idea how long this is going to take. So we are partially the way there. We're taking the belt cover off. We have the cool intake pipe or air. What is this? Yeah, something. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dad, so much for this awesome flashlight that has come in super handy, that is very bright. Anyways, we're getting there, people. We're gonna do it.
So this is the moment of truth right here, where we either go, yay, it's a broken belt, or we go,
Oh,
oh. Oh, this is where we say, hey.
Oh no. It's not the belt?
That belt's not broken.
Oh no. Oh, this isn't good. This is bad. Okay guys, so it is not the belt. Nuts came undone. This guy right here, I'm zooming in on with the flashlight where Dan's at. That nut is the clutch, and it came undone, and we don't really have a big enough set of pliers to put it back. Maybe there's a tool that we have. There's a tool in this kit. Dan, here are these.
I need that.
Try this. This one?
No.
Oh, the other one.
I need that weird black spanner thing.
Okay. So we have to tighten that up, and we have no idea what torque it's at, and we have to maybe remove the belt in order
Do you have any cell phone reception?
to figure that out. Oh, you guys might not have seen that. Anyways, nope, I have none. I have zero cell phone. The bolt broke. That guy busted. And at the moment, we're we're stranded out here. We're roughly 11 miles from home right now. Yep. Belt's fine. Belt's in good condition, but the bolt broke, so we're kind of stranded in the middle of nowhere. All right, guys, we're heading off. Dan's starting out a long travel. Hopefully no one steals our baby. We're gonna fix it later. But the moon's coming up, and we've got a really long hike. And yay! Hopefully we're okay. Oh. Yeah, my phone's kind of dying. We've got 2 flashlights and a headlamp, and we're gonna try to utilize those as best we can. We took all our water. We filled up the empty containers that we've already used with ice and put them in our backpacks. And so, yeah, here we go. So we're getting closer to the road. It is real dark out here. Here's the road. And all I got is my Wilby flashlight, which is doing really great, right? Thank you, Dad. But we're still walking. We walked a little bit. My ankle hurts so bad because I hurt it last weekend. So that's not fun. We're still on this dirt road, waiting to get to another dirt road that a couple miles away will take us to a paved road where Dan has called somebody to pick us up. But you know how those plans go. So we'll see. Oh, the moon's come around the corner. It's looking pretty great. We're a little bit frustrated right now. We worked for a good 30 minutes on the side-by-side, and then another good while packing our stuff, and now walking. We see this little guy. Look how cute he is. He's just chilling. Don't worry, we're not gonna hurt him. I really love tarantulas. I think they're awesome. Anyways, we've made it to the main dirt road and are walking. I rolled my ankle, and that feels great. And we're not thrilled right now. You got the brownies, right? Yep. Those aren't anything special, people. Those are just fudge brownies for calorie sake, because we wanted a snack this evening, and this was meant to be a 3-hour trip. It's now nearly 8 o'clock.
So, we're having a great time. That's all I got. Talk to you guys in a little bit.
We were finally rescued. I was really worried that our side-by-side was going to be gone, but she's still here.
So we're getting set up to tow it all the way back to Baghdad. Figure it's going to be just quicker and easier to stick a rope on it and tow it home rather than put it on the flatbed trailer and then go through the nightmare that would have been.
This was us towing it home at 30 miles an hour back to Baghdad.